We can't have people coming into our country illegally. It's not fair for a lot of reasons. Not fair to the people that are here, not fair to the people that want to come here, the people that have worked so hard to become a citizen of this country. I'm thinking about everything, including the military, not just the National Guard. They can do a lot. They're the military. Wait till you see what happens over the next couple of weeks. You're going to see a very secure border. You just watch.
Well, the president's sending hundreds of U.S. military personnel to the border. They are not going to be directly engaging with someone coming across, but they free up Border Patrol there to do their jobs. It's more logistical. As this caravan moves forward, it's still a major issue. There's another caravan in Guatemala. Back with the panel. Buck, what about this move and this issue?
The president's taking the right steps here, and I appreciate that his rhetoric is that the law is the law and that we should have sovereignty on the border. The problem here is that there is a massive loophole that is being abused by people who know that if they show up and they're being coached along the way. We know this based on Border Patrol giving testimony and talking about what they're being told about people that come on these caravans or just show up in general. If you go to a port of entry and say that you want to claim asylum, the process is that there is a process, meaning you get led into the United States, you're given a court date later. Very few of those people actually get asylum. Even fewer of those people are ever told that they have to leave the country.
Specifically about Central America.
Or actually do leave the country, rather. Specifically from Central America. So when we say that we won't allow illegal immigration, if this caravan makes it to the U.S. border and they show up at a port of entry and all claim asylum, they're not actually illegal immigrants. They are going through that process. They only become illegal if they don't abide by the adjudication that comes later on. So this is a huge problem, and Trump alone can't actually fix it. There needs to be congressional action on this.
90+% end up staying in the country after that process, sometimes folding in. AB.
Well, Americans are in the middle on this issue. They are not for catch and release, but they're also not for separating families. They are for the legalization of the dreamers. There is high majorities for these things, basically in the middle. If the Trump administration wants to tighten criteria for asylum, they have to work with Congress to pass a law. The Trump bill itself got the fewest votes in all the Senate. Of all the Senate proposals, Republicans did not approve of it. He took 4 positions on the Goodlatte bill on the House side. He had a deal with Lindsey Graham, or they thought so, and Dick Durbin for a DACA deal with Democrats. He turned it down at the last minute. He has to lead on this issue. I don't think he wants to. I think he really wants the issue for 2020.
Well, it's a big issue. In fact, it's the most important issue for Republican voters in the midterm elections. And I actually think it's an important issue for Democrats, too, even though the Democrats are focusing on health care. The issue of immigration and national identity is, in fact, the most important issue of our time. And I think our picture of illegal immigration is kind of caught up at the beginning of the century. We think of illegal immigrants as kind of the single young males from Mexico who are coming for work. Well, because of the loopholes that Buck mentioned, that character of illegal immigration has changed. And now it's families coming from Central America, increasingly in these caravans, who are seeking asylum and protection from the gangs in their failed states. And our laws have not caught up with that reality. And it is, I think, up to the president and Congress to make sure they do.
Panel, thank you. A little shorter because we took the president.